visited the Salad Bowl Cafeteria at 3949 Lindell Boulevard during its final week of operations, just a few days before Christmas 2005. The restaurant's offerings of classic comfort food like fried catfish and chicken, baked beans, macaroni and cheese, and those irresistible desserts were still being served up to hungry patrons. And just as familiar to those customers were the Salad Bowl's longtime employees. Millie Newton was here the longest. You're 74 now.
Yes.
How old were you when you started working here?
20. I just came in one day. I needed a job. So I just came in. I didn't even fill out an application.
Have you done a variety of different things?
Yes. Cashier, worked on the counter, worked in the bakery, selling pies, worked on the floor, filling orders.
Chef Odie Bridges' lovingly prepared entrees were the closest thing to Grandma's cooking you could get. His time at the Salad Bowl clocked in at a mere 25 years.
I never believed in just going from place to place. Once I get used to the people and for instance, when I came here, I took over the kitchen and everybody back there is just like my kids, you know. Even though some of them are older than I am, they were still my kids.
But the good times at the Salad Bowl were about to end. A special display in one of the dining rooms included a message to customers. It said the restaurant would close its doors for good December 23rd after more than 57 years in business. There were also photographs, certificates, and other mementos that showed how this family-owned establishment was much more than a good place to eat. It was also a neutral zone for political discussions and a hub of community activism.
We kind of lived up to our parents. What they wanted us to do was to serve the good food and to treat everybody like their family, and I think we've done that.
2 decades before the Salad Bowl came into being, a young Elmer Sewing arrived in St. Louis from his family's farm in Appleton, Missouri in 1929. He went to work for Miss Hulling's cafeteria.
He actually ran part of the business for them years and years ago. He was the manager of the stores. He started off basically as a dishwasher, a man who worked the kitchens, from there to the cooking, to the chefing, to the management.
Sewing met his wife Anna at Miss Hulling's. At the time, there was a company policy against co-workers marrying, so they eloped.
And then in '48, he decided, he had 4 kids at the time, he needed to go on his own to help pay his bills. And that's when he started to be an entrepreneur.
The St. Louis City economy in the post-war years was strong when Elmer and Anna Sewing struck out on their own. There were plenty of potential customers on busy commercial streets like Lindell. The original location for the Salad Bowl was on the 4200 block of Lindell at the corner of Whittier. The American Cancer Society has offices here today. At 2,000 square feet, that original restaurant had just 3 tables and 6 stools. So about 6 years later, the restaurant moved 1 block east to Lindell and Sarah. Now that building was considerably larger, 14,000 square feet. Unfortunately, it came with just 5 parking spaces. So in 1963, the Salad Bowl moved one more time.
This was a car dealership. It was built back in 1929. That gives you an idea. He came in with a bulldozer from one and the other end and just knocked it all down and started fresh right there. This is 35,000 square feet now. 2 dining rooms and 6 banquet rooms.
The Sewing's 3 sons, David and twins Norman and Norbert, started working in the kitchen part-time as kids with duties like peeling potatoes. After college, they returned to the Salad Bowl full-time. They were taught early on the importance of treating all their customers like family. We shall overcome. In fact, during a time when St. Louis African Americans were denied the right to eat with whites at lunch counters, they were welcomed at the Salad Bowl.
Always, Ruth, and that was a point that our father and our mother taught us. That's we should always have it open for everybody, and we always have. So that's important to us. So when we were kids and ate at the table, everybody ate at our table. So it was important that we realize that there are other people in this world. We have to get along.
All right, good. Get him, Scotty.
The Sewing's values were also reflected in their hiring practices. Over the years, a number of people with hearing impairments and other disabilities became Salad Bowl employees. The sentiments of the workers toward their employer were especially apparent during a labor-related rough patch.
Back in the 60s, we were picketed. We went through a situation where they want to unionize our location, which was a situation which was fine, but the problem was that most of our employees at that time had belonged to a union, and they felt that they weren't doing them a good service, so they stuck with it. They stuck with us. And most of our employees basically came to us and said, even though you may be picketed, we will stick with you the whole time and stay with you. And surprisingly, even during that time period, our business grew.
Much of the Salad Bowl's business was fueled by wedding receptions, business meetings, and other functions held in the banquet rooms. The St. Louis Board of Education was among the civic organizations allowed to use the rooms free of charge.
The Sewing brothers were very good to the school system, to the city public school system, and I served on the school board for 10 years. We would have a lot of meetings. Teachers would have workshops and seminars. As a matter of fact, they supported us when we had to do bond issues or tax issues that would support the school system. And the Sewings would donate the room and pay for the breakfast for us to entertain the senior citizens from the various senior citizens' homes, and they would be bussed into the Salad Bowl on a nice morning, and we'd be able to campaign and talk with the seniors, who are our greatest voting bloc for a lot of issues.
I was fortunate enough for the third time to win a seat on the St. Louis School Board, and so where do you think I would have my victory party? The Salad Bowl. But I want to say I paid for it. It was not coming from the taxpayers. I paid for it, but we had a victory party there at the Salad Bowl.
If a politician wanted to make his or her case for legislation or a cause and reach a grassroots audience in St. Louis, the Salad Bowl was on the short list of venues. But while Republicans, including Kit Bond, sometimes spoke to constituents there, more often than not, it was Democrats like Thomas Eagleton doing the commiserating. One high-profile Democrat who addressed a group at the restaurant in 1991 made a lasting impression on Chef Odie Bridges.
Jesse Jackson was one I would never forget, because for his special breakfast I had to make him an omelet. He didn't like scrambled eggs, so I made him an omelet. And after it was over with, he did a group picture with us, and he came over and thanked me especially for the omelet, and I never will forget that.
When fast food restaurants moved into the Salad Bowl's territory, the Sewing's home-style eats, business principles, and community commitment kept the customers flowing in. And the owners always found ways to show their appreciation.
We decided basically for every 5 years we would go back to 1948 prices. What we would do there is basically we would have each day, we would reduce the prices, the drinks would be 10 cents instead of $1. We would reduce the salads to 18, 20, 25 cents. We reduced the entrees to, instead of being at $4 or $3, to about $1 or 75 cents. So at the end of the week, we would have 1948 prices for all of our merchandise. We would celebrate our anniversary that way.
It was so close that we could come during the week and maybe on some special occasions on the weekend, maybe after church.
And sometimes after work.
Sometimes after work.
If you didn't cook.
Customers Wilma LaGrone and her daughter Michelle always liked the way they were treated at the Salad Bowl. They go back with the restaurant to the 1970s.
I think in St. Louis, it's a unique place where you can find a mix of people here, racially, economic background, social background. I mean, there's just a diversity of people that come to the Salad Bowl who work here. You know, you'll find different faces here, and it's very relaxing and friendly, and it's just a good place to be.
Sewing patriarch Elmer died in 1976. Matriarch Anna continued to work with her sons at the Salad Bowl 3 days a week, even while she was receiving chemotherapy treatments for cancer until her death in 1996. If these walls could talk, they'd give you a history lesson of the last half century in St. Louis. The neighborhood where the Salad Bowl sits has seen good times and bad, but through it all, the Sewing brothers never considered moving.
When Lindell went down
to must have been 15, 20 empty buildings here. And we stayed the course. We stayed right here. People still come to us from, I don't know where they all came from, to tell you the truth, because I was always shocked at the business we did. But they came. And eventually things turned around, and you see the street now just vibrant and just phenomenally doing well. And of course we're now part of that because somebody else is coming in here to do phenomenally well.
In the summer of 2005, the Sewing brothers got an offer from a developer they couldn't refuse. The Salad Bowl will be demolished to make way for condominiums. For a while, the brothers looked around for a location to reopen the family business, but now they're so busy with new projects, it looks like the Salad Bowl will go the way of other St. Louis cafeterias. In the meantime, Norman, Norbert, and David Sewing hope the business practices and values instilled by their parents will be carried on by other restaurateurs.
We were here to be a part of the community, not just actually doing a business, because that was part of our success. Our success is that we like people, and people we hope liked us, and that's what helped us to be as successful as we have.
Sue wants a barbecue, Sam wants to boil a ham, Grace votes for bouillabaisse stew. Jake wants a weenie baked steak and a layer cake, he'll get a tummy ache too.